stay fly, stay fly.
If it's one landmass, me, you, and this other brother, if we're on the same landmass and it splits, who's the oldest? He said we're the same age and walked away.
You got the OnlyFans special, Seiko? Oh, shoot, that's crazy.
I had to put the disclaimer up. We have a Bay with us. So,
I know.
When the Moors come on, I got to throw the disclaimer.
You're listening to The Fly Guy Show. They do everything on the fly and in such a fly manner. Stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly.
All that party.
The views expressed by the guests are only the views of the guests, unless we say we agree, unless explicitly stated.
Hey, this is Ernie Thomas here on the Vold School Podcast. You're listening to Psycho Vonner's Fly Guy Podcast. Support, like, subscribe, and share. He's saying some good things. Share it. Don't keep it to yourself.
Peace, beloved. Peace, beloved. Peace, beloved. I'm feeling good. I wish I could get this feeling. I wish I could get this feeling. Hey, it's time for another episode of Get On Code, The Fly Guy Show, which is a series of melanated conversations focused on improving our collective situation in the areas of health, wealth, and knowledge of self. And today we're going to be dealing with health. I'm sure we're going to get into a little bit of knowledge of self. We had a good brother, Bashiri, on the pod. We got the good brother, Muhammad Ali Bey. Oh, man, this is going to be an interesting show. But let me start with Brother Bashiri, our local podcaster, our local spoken word expert. It's Bashiri with the big words.
Okay.
Yo,
Hopefully.
So Bashiri, what's good, man? Tell us about yourself, man. Tell us about your podcast real quick.
Love, Peace, and Confrontation is the podcast. Dealing with a lot of conscious raising content and conversation. More recent episode dealt with, again, like you had already iterated, behind stage, just dealing with Trump, Biden, and you, and everything that's going on with the Capitol, and how we need to pivot and not remain passive kind of bystanders while these, in my opinion, different factions of white supremacy are infighting. I mean, and so, just try to stay on the current and how we need to move to develop self-determination, self-definition, and economic freedom, really. So 12 episodes, 13 episodes in, so, check me out.
Right. I say, yo, as a matter of fact, you can find Love, Peace, and Confrontation anywhere where podcasts are found. You can also find Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. That's his wife's podcast. That's a hot podcast, if I say myself. Mm-hmm. If you subscribe on your Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find Love, Peace, and Confrontation. You can find the Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. And you can also find the Get On Code, The Fly Guy Show. This video will become a podcast in a few moments. So as soon as we're finished. And so today on The Fly, we have with us the great brother, Muhammad Ali Bey. Muhammad, tell us a little bit about
I don't know about all that great stuff. I don't know about all that great, Seiko. We just brothers, man. You know how that go. Brothers go back a long way, brother.
Ashe. Tell us about Abie's Natural, man.
Abie's actually started out, my brother, it started out with my family. It's a family brand. We started skin and hair, natural products. Actually, my father was Abie Sr. My brother was Abie Jr. We named the company after my brother. Actually, I think when I came back up here from Virginia in 2000 and I guess it was 13, something around that time. My brother my brother's mentally retarded, so he had scales on his head, man. I mean, really dry patches. And my mom had asked me to help her deal with it. And, they had taken him to the dermatologist, the whole thing, and nothing was working. So, she came to me last. In my family, people come to me last about nutrition, but it's like, so I said, Mom, black soap and some shea butter. Give it a little time. So we did that for like 3 months. It was gone, brother. It was gone. So when he passed the next year, we started the company. We named it after him. And a lot of the energy came from him. What he showed us in life and in his transition. We named it after him.
Can't hear you, bro.
Always perfect, always pure, or always pure, always perfect.
Always perfect. We named it after him.
And so you took a family situation that was kind of challenging. He had a really horrible time with dermatitis, and you turned it into a business.
Right. Yeah, they say about the mother of necessity. Invention is the mother of necessity. So, we've been in January was 6 years. So we've had 3 of my sisters who were investor and 1 outside investor. So we're growing slowly, but our timetable is not, we're not in a hurry, because what we're doing is we're going back and we're dealing more with the natural side, and the deep natural side. Even when you hear a lot of people talk about natural hair or natural products today, like we don't, like with Abie's, we don't deal with any hybrid ingredients. And there's a fallacy out there that a lot of the things like peppermint, things like chamomile, a lot of the popular ingredients are really hybrid. And if you go back to, hybridization going on for thousands of years. More recently, the Europeans have dominated. There's a guy out of Germany a couple hundred years ago named Mendel. He created a lot of the, I would say, foods that we eat today, like spinach, like peas and things like that.
Wait. I gotta let that marinate. So the food that people are telling me is healthy for me, peas, spinach, broccoli, you're telling me that those weren't natural? Carrots? Good for my eyes, carrots?
They're hybrids. The funny thing about when you start talking about what our body needs, our bodies don't need vitamins. Our bodies need minerals. That's a play by the farmers. That's a play by the companies, man. They're making money off that. Mm-hmm. Your body is made out of minerals. That's another thing. Abie's Naturals, Abie's Naturals / blogspot.com. I just reposted our a post that we've been having good success with, talking about the myth of melanin. And it's like there are a lot of things on us, not just the social things like the brother was talking about, but Brother Bashiri, but a lot of the food things have been put on us, and we don't do research. We just kind of hook, line, and sinker just accept things. And so when you deal with the human body, the body needs minerals. It doesn't need vitamin C. It doesn't need ascorbic acid. It needs minerals. Without the minerals, we're through. That's why when you're dealing with the like the big thing on the scene now, the sea moss. The sea moss has 192 of the 102 minerals that we need in our bodies daily.
Okay, hold tight. You moving too quick. This is culture shock for me, bro. So the myth of melanin. So everyone walking around, I got melanin, to my melanated mothers, and so you're saying that melanin is mythological.
Doesn't exist. Yeah, I mean, it was funny. About a couple years ago, I was talking to a guy, right? We were talking, and the guy was kind of getting animated about what we were talking about. I said, that's fine. That's fine, brother. But if something in this world exists, you could see it or something. I said, show me where melanin exists. He kind of looked at me. I said, well, look at the periodic chart. We were on the phone. I said, pull up the periodic chart of minerals. I said, you won't find melanin there. So if you won't find it in the periodic chart of minerals, where does it come from? And Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and a lot of our big people have made it popular, but it doesn't have an origin with us. It's like a lot of things with us. You remember we went to that conference, Dr. Gary Mendez, back in the day down in Hampton? Remember that, right?
Yeah, I do. So, I mean, this isn't.
You know Dr. Gary, you know what Dr. Mendez used to say? He used to say the best Europeans are us. So a lot of times we regurgitate things without doing our own research.
Okay. I need you to amplify that statement. The best Europeans is us.
Right. He used to always say that to me. You know, because we just accept things hook, line, and sinker, and we don't check it. You know, it's nothing wrong with people, proposing some things to us or saying things to us, but then it's like, okay, when do we check? You know what I'm saying? When do we do our cross-referencing? So just getting back to when you're dealing with the minerals, the body needs minerals, not vitamins. You could live on sea moss, just that, forever. That's all I take, bro. I'll be 59 in March. I've never taken a pharmaceutical in my life, except knee surgeries after playing ball, that kind of thing. Pain pill. Had to have for that pain pill, that pain medicine after the knee surgery. To have that, brother. You know how that went. But outside that, I've never taken a pharmaceutical in my life. I have a lot of my friends now, almost 60, whatever, diabetes, this and that and this and that. I've never taken one.
All right, and you've shown me pictures of your muscles and your six-pack, and you don't have to show them now. I actually didn't want to see them. You sent them to me for the record. But
we were talking about health, brother.
You got the OnlyFans special, Seiko? Oh shoot, that's crazy.
He got the 2-for-1 that day.
Yo, Bashir, have you ever heard anything like this before, man?
Not on the piece on melanin, no. On the propaganda piece with the misinformation the European disseminates, yes. So I'm inclined to believe what the brother is suggesting, because they've always tried to corner the market on the domain of discourse. You know what I'm saying? Wherever they can define, they can make real in the minds of the people. And once you got the minds of the people, well, you got everything else. So I hear the brother on that.
Yeah, but even with the melanin piece, it's like you got both of you guys have a computer in front of you. Go find melanin and show it to me. You have a computer right there. Show it to me.
All right. You know what
we're talking about in mineral is we're talking about carbon. See, carbon is in every living thing, even plants. That's what we're talking. That's the mineral we're talking about. So if you pull up on the periodic table, you will find carbon, but you won't find melanin. Pull up the periodic table of elements, and then show me where melanin is. Pull up the periodic table of elements. But what you will find is carbon.
He's not an element.
Carbon. And carbon is in most of our major organs. Carbon. Especially in our head, everything. Carbon. Brother doing some research tonight, man. Just like when I met you, Seiko, back in the day. Carbon. See, it says it's not an element, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if it's not an element, where is it? Carbon. People talk about it. It's like your best friend that you lost. People talk about it like it's their best friend. But then you say, okay, bring your best friend around the house and to a meal. No one can bring it. So you have a computer right there. Bring it. But if you pull up carbon, when you pull up carbon, all the information that we're talking about exists. That's what we're talking about, carbon.
I share you, and this is for the educators. So get your books on right now. Do your research. This is for the educated. So, look, we're talking about health, wealth, and knowledge of self. So,
exactly.
So, Bashiri, I know you're a pretty healthy guy. You're doing things to work on health, man. So, what do you think about? I mean, what do you do for your skin?
Well, right now I've been going on 150-day commitment to no sugar. I'm trying to really wean myself off of sugar. I'll be 40 this year, and I'm trying to give myself the gift of being completely weaned off of that whole sugar thing. So I'm trying to stay off of sugar, which is tough because sugar isn't everything. I'm finding out, you know what I mean? When you read all the labels and then they have different names for it, it's just like, that's a whole nother foray into study in itself, trying to get your diet right and just stay away from the poison. So I do that. I drink water. Of course, I exercise every day. You know what I mean? And I really trying to cultivate peace of mind, you know what I mean? Because I was even speaking with my mom that a lot of what we see by way of maladies are manifestations of dis-ease mentally. And so it's kind of difficult navigating, of course, as now I don't even know how to say it. My man said melanin don't exist. As Black people, you know what I mean, and different, there are certain stressors that are specific to our group because of the caliber of challenges that we face socially and politically. You know what I mean? We're just exposed to. My man got the caveat there.
I gotta have a disclaimer.
I got you. But just to say that, you know, there are certain maladies and diseases that occur specifically to us because we have specific kinds of, again, political and social economic impediments that give way to certain stressors. So, you know what I mean? Keep in mind, you know, those different factors, you know?
I had to put the disclaimer up. We have a Bay with us, so
I know.
You know, when the Moors come on, I got to throw the
Let me clear something up real quick. We all Moors, brother. That's not a club. That's our birthright. Since you're speaking about that, I'll speak later on about. We have a product called our Moors line, where we pay homage to the Moors around the world. We've created different products. I'm working with a sister now in Korea, with the religion of Indonesia. We've created a product for her family in Taiwan. You know what I'm saying? I'm working with a sister. She's from Venezuela, who's down in Peru. Miss Hilda. So we're going around the world and we're dealing with different people. And I'm relating to people like I have a friend in Philippines. So when you start talking to the Filipinos over there, they call themselves Moros. And a lot of them, just like a lot of us, they don't know that the Philippines was named after King Philip. And the King Philip, was who was a colonist and a king. So a lot of us don't know our history. You know what I'm saying? And that being one, we are one. There ain't no dividing. Plus, let me throw this at you, Seiko. It's interesting because you and I met 1990 in the school system, right? So we go back a long way. But do you know what the oldest name, when the Europeans came here and started colonizing our ancestors' line, what's the oldest name of a school in the United States for converting Moors to Indians, or what they call it, or Indians to European methodology? What's the name of the oldest school?
I know it. I can't pull it off the tip of my tongue right now. But go ahead.
Know the year?
You know it, brother
Bashiri?
Nah, this is new information to me.
1754, right? I sent that to you, Seiko, right?
Yeah, it was something that
if you go online, you pull up
back in the day too.
Right. That's it. If you go online, you pull up Moores Charity School. (1754) was the first school. You see it right there? The name of the first school for basically civilizing our ancestors. Now, if we weren't Moors, why did the Europeans name it Moores Charity School? We talking about 1754. Her name was Helen Wheelock. She was one of the founders of what they call, what's the university up there? Dartmouth. That's the oldest school for us here. 1754, there were none. Even Virginia. So it's a lot. Even when you're dealing with like Kentucky and Tennessee, this is Kentucky is Little Egypt. Just look at the word Kentucky, Kentucky. This is Egypt. So there's a lot of information going to bring us all together because we won. And the divisions that we've been going through, that time's over. It's 2021.
All right, well, let's connect your Moorish science teachings back to Abie's Natural, because you have a line of products that are healthy-based, historically healthy-based.
Right.
And what do they do? Let's go deep into that. I know that's what you want to touch on.
I like what Brother Bashiri was saying about when you asked him the question about what he was doing for his health and the things that he was doing to the healthy things that he was bringing to his life. And I want to read you something, brother, because dealing with Moorish science, we're talking about the original science of the planet, man. So it's like when you start talking about see, a part of Abie's mission is to re-educate us about how we take care of us, and know more from the outside in. We go to the doctors and this and that, and everybody tells us how we are. We're the original people. How can you tell me how I am? That's so crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're dealing with the sisters. They're the original beings. So they have males and females. So who's going to know more than them? There's a sister, you remember from Portsmouth Community Service Board, Seiko. And this is 1992. We have a conversation. She was pregnant, right? Coming in, we were talking, da-da-da-da. She's like, Muhammad, da-da-da-da. I said, listen, Lord. I said, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me ask you a question. I said, who's your doctor? She said, gynecologist. I said, male or female? Probably a male, right? She's like, yeah. I said, what percentage of gynecologists are men? We talking about 1992. So I told her back then it's like 80%. I said, but there's a difference between knowing something and experiencing something and having the knowledge of. Because a gynecologist has never had a baby, but if you go to all the seminars and the people who write out the books and make the money now on a woman's reproduction system, it's men. So there's a difference between the experience and the knowledge. So now we got to catch back up on the knowledge, because the Europeans are presenting to us the knowledge that they've accumulated because we've been in a dormant stage. But they're not, you know what I'm saying? They don't know what we know. It's just laying dormant in us. So part of Abie's mission is to now reignite that information, that fire. But using astrology and cosmology, which is really important to us. It's like today, a lot of relationships, and we've been running to that for years, are built on who's got the biggest butter, with all that kind of stuff. Ain't no relationship gonna last like that. That's not a relationship. That's lust. So what's gonna last with us now is gonna be about going back to our moral ways, like our ancestors, what they call prearranged marriages. But now our ancestors used to take the astrological signs of each party, put them together and see if they go. Because all signs don't go together with each other. So it doesn't make a difference how cute the woman is or the man is or all that kind of stuff. If you're not aligned, you're going to have problems in your relationship. So we also do that with our products. We infuse that with our products. So that's what we were talking about earlier, Seiko, some weeks ago, when we were talking about I was talking to you about during the 12 months or the 9 months that we're in the womb, or the element salts, we're in the womb for the 9 months that we're in the womb. You know, the women carry 12 element salts that they reproduce or they produce in a child.
Okay.
When a child is born, right, the 9 months that they're in the womb, they don't get 3. So most of us are deficient of those 3. Your doctor won't tell you that. So if we correct those 3 months of minerals, most of our bodies will come back on balance.
All right. So let me tap in. Tap in. Salute to Sweetie. I'm born in December. All right. So what elements are normally missing for me and those of us who were born in the Roman calendar month of December?
So you were born December. That means you were probably go back 3 months. So we're probably talking about November, October, September, right? September. You're born December, right? So if you go to the 3 months, the 3 months preceding, are the months that you missed.
So what minerals am I missing then?
Well, I don't know. I didn't bring out specific minerals, but those three months of minerals are what all of us are missing. You know?
I see your point. You
know what I'm saying? So it's like when we were actually conceived under conception. So let's say if you were born in December, you were probably conceived 9 months is what? March?
Yeah.
Right. So let's go back. February, January, or March, February, January. Those 3 months, you wouldn't have those elements. None of it. Because that's the 12 month cycle, or the 12 month cycle, which makes the whole. Now we're talking about the whole. So we wouldn't have those 3 months. Thank you for that question. It kind of helped clear it up. So we wouldn't have those 3 months. So we're not going to have those elements. So as we get older and as we go through life, they become a telltale sign. And then as we go through the stuff they're eating, like Brother was saying, Brother Bashir was saying, all this crazy food out here and this and that, and if you're not correcting yourself, it shows up more and more. And then the older you get, 65 and all that kind of stuff, it's over because they're calculating people's deaths. You know what I'm saying? They're calculating Social Security, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff is science. It's not, they ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? It's like Brother Bashir was saying, that stuff is science. They got to land up. Yeah, but those 3 months you wouldn't have.
All right, we're going to flip the tables, man. As a matter of fact, let me put my flip the tables piece on again. We're going to flip the tables, right? All right, like Yeshua flipping the table. So you're working on a solvent for me because I shared with you that I'm starting to lose some of my hair. My hairline is kind of receded a little bit. A little space right here that I normally wouldn't share. I try to cover up with my headphones where I'm starting to get a low light in the hair. And you told me that I needed your birth date and I needed to know a couple of other things. And I'm going to work on a mineral supplement shea butter for you. And that's going to help you. So is it that easy?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's like when you go to the doctor. You know, Brother Bashir, when you go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, what's the first thing they ask you?
I really don't go, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't trust him.
I ain't been there like years myself. I'm saying back in the day when we went, the first thing they asked us for, they give us a. They
want your demographic information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't know. They don't know what's going on with us. They have to ask us.
Yeah.
So think about that. You have to ask me for the information for you to treat me.
It's a fact.
And you're treating me? Think about that. So it's like that in contracts law, the offeror is the master of the offer. So immediately that puts them in the master of the offer, or in this business association. And they don't even have the information about us eternally. They have to get it from us.
How do
That's
you
the
turn
craziest
that?
thing.
How do you turn that into a business?
Just like the brother was saying, Bashir is saying, what we're doing now is we're working on making people more cognizant of where they're at mentally, physically, and spiritually. You know, let me give you this definition right here. I want to pull this official definition of alchemy. Because now you're talking about alchemy. You're talking about a science of our ancestors.
Okay.
You know
As you pull that up, I want to do a quick break for our sponsors. So this show has a number of sponsors, and I want to go ahead and take a moment and celebrate our sponsors, because without their help, the show wouldn't be on. Without their help, the show would not be on. So let's jump to some of our sponsors very quickly. The first sponsor I want to celebrate is Common Sense for You. So if you go to commonsenseforyou.com, actually .org, commonsenseforyou.org, you can find health and beauty aids. Now, they don't have what Abie Naturals have, but they have soaps, they have tooth powder, they have body oils, they have bug off oil, this tooth powder body cream. I do like the lavender sugar cube scrubs. This stuff is healthy for you. These things, now you mentioned peppermint earlier, so we have to talk about that with her. But these are health and beauty products. This herbal tooth powder is better for you. We found out that using toothpaste isn't necessarily the best thing for it because it has fluoride. And fluoride by itself is a poison. So you can look at commonsenseforyou.org. That's commonsenseforyou.org, and get some health and beauty aids like these soaps. These are some of the soaps that they have, and I love them. I have them in my house. I'm a product of the product. So commonsenseforyou.org. That's commonsenseforyou.org. And I'm Seiko from Positive Vibes Financial. I help real estate investors. And one of the ways we do that is I'm able to provide 90% of the acquisition costs for real estate properties and 100% of the rehab costs. This is one of my happy customers. I put money in his pocket, 90% of the acquisition we helped him with and 100% of the rehab costs. Our firm also does credit fixes, tax resolution, and debt consolidation. So if you need any of those services, make sure that you get in contact with Positive Vibes Financial. Positive Vibes Incorporated will take care of you. Our telephone number is 757-932-0177. So let's get into the alchemy, brother. Let's get into the alchemy.
Philosophy, philosophical, and proto-scientific tradition. So we talk about, really, that's really what Moorish science is. We're talking about thousands and thousands of years ago. Even though it's been railroaded more recently by the European sons, that's our science. So now it's about getting back into that science of healing ourselves. You know, there is no way that I should be able to go with someone else and they know more about me than me. That's like I said, when you get into contracts law, that flips the whole situation, because like I said, in contracts law, you're talking about the offeror is the master of the offer. So now that puts them in the master seat. And it's my illness, or anyone's illness. That puts them in the driver's seat.
So how can we put ourselves back in the driver's seat, and what does Abie's Natural provide that helps us get back in the driver's seat and take control of the steering wheel?
Well, like I said, just providing some of the information like we started the show with. Talk to people about the myth of melanin, the dealing with carbon, you know what I'm saying? The dealing with the minerals that our bodies are made up of. those things go a long way in us doing self-diagnosis, and even if we're listening to doctors or who else, to them interpreting their diagnoses. So we're I guess we're doing skin and hair care, but it's with a added scientific, I say drip, because it's slow, brothers. You know, it's slow. It's not like, I wish I could just turn on the flood, turn on the spigot and it just it's not like that. Because there's been so much loss by not just our people, I'm talking about humanity in general. So it's like, but the things that we're providing is the information and the knowledge, especially dealing with the scientific information.
All right, so Bashiri earlier talked about how he gave up sugar. I know when I first shared with you that I was having a little problem with my hair growing, you said, "Are you still drinking coffee?" And I was like, okay. So I cut back my coffee from 7 days a week to 2 days a week. I only drink it now on Saturdays and Sundays. And actually, my hair actually grew back.
I remember you telling me that, man. I was like, wow.
In the two areas, and I was like, wow. And then you shared with me, Seiko, it looks to me like you have too much acid in your diet. And
right.
when you start removing some of the acidic properties, the things that add acid, you're going to, normalize your body. And, just cutting out coffee. And I guess Bashiri talked about cutting out sugar. I've done that. I used to do that every year for, what is it? Just before Easter, there's the period of Lent. Lent.
Right, Lent. Yeah.
I just had a brain fart. So every year, normally for Lent, when you give up something traditionally, and those who follow Christianity, I would always give up sugary items. And I always noticed that I felt a lot more energized once I came off of Lent. And so you've also talked about removing things from your diet. What are some common things that Joe Public and Joanne Public and Person Public can remove from their diet so they can, increase their health?
The biggest I would say two of the biggest things, it's like the brother Bashiri said, started with the sugar and salt. Sugar and salt are probably two of the biggest. Wow. It's like the brother was saying, it's in everything. You can go to a can of goods, especially in canned goods or whatever, packaged goods, and salt and sugar is in everything. And it has different names or whatever, but it's in everything. I remember when I first met you and I was working in mental health, I read a book dealing with, I was working in mental health, a therapist for children and adolescents. And a lot of children dealing with temper tantrums and all that kind of stuff. But I always knew it was biological. So I tried to treat it from a biological standpoint. I remember I read a book called Sugar Blues. William Duffy. If you get a chance, pull that book up. William Duffy, Sugar Blues, 1970. Right? And he wrote a book, I think it was a New York journalist for the Post or whatever. And he went off of white refined sugar for a year. And they used to have his picture before and after on the back of the book. You would have known this man was the same person. I mean, really, when you saw him, it was like, whoa, what happened to him? It's like, he was like this, and then the year he was like this, but then he went through the history of sugar. Yeah, there you go, Sugar Blues. And he talked about the history of sugar and how it's been used in basically, today it's used more like in warfare. Because, I mean, let me be honest with you. The Europeans wouldn't be afraid going through our neighborhoods. Because what do you find? Liquor, right? And you find a high amount of sugar. He was talking about when the Christians were doing the Christian-Muslim wars in the book. He was saying what the Europeans would do, they would introduce a high amounts of sugar, liquor, and other kind of goods to the people they conquered. So they guys became drunk and this and that and all that kind of stuff. He was saying, I'm thinking, that's the hood. Those guys couldn't fight anybody because they're waiting for another drink. They're waiting to get, So when you go to the hood now, what do you find? Liquor stores, right? Churches and liquor stores. That's what you find, right? And a lot of sugar and a lot of salt. These brothers, we couldn't fight. We're not warriors. Philosophically and physically, we're not warriors. Because when you're a warrior out there and you're in the military, you got to be able to shed certain things, and you know what I'm saying, and go for a long time without having certain things. So between drugs, alcohol, and those certain things, all they got to do is wait us out. This is a serious game. That book really woke me up to that. Around the first time I met you, Seiko, in 90, that book really woke me up to that. So that's when Brother Bashiri said sugar, I was like, whoa. That's probably, I would say sugar than salt.
And when we look at the projects or the brick projects where they have food deserts, sugar and salt are in a lot of the processed foods that we deal with. So I remember you used to be one of the, we used to call you a tinfoil kufi wearer.
Wow.
You know, because you used to talk about stuff and you're like, man, dude, that's some conspiracy theory craziness. And then later on, we realized that you were speaking truth.
Man, we go back 31 years, brother. That's the 1990s, a long time, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, real quick, Bashiri, remember we did the conflict mediation program? Mm-hmm. Everybody was in those two schools, they were telling us it was crazy. It wouldn't work. And we remember how we ran it? Was it what's the school that you were at? You were MAP?
I was at Alf J. Mapp Middle School in Portsmouth. I also had Salute to the Greyhounds, IC Norcom, worked there. And so we worked in Portsmouth City Public Schools and we taught conflict mediation. And we started off teaching the students. And then later on, I actually received compensation from the city of Portsmouth and I taught it in some of the community centers. Wow. And, those schools, the rate of violence dropped immediately after 6 months implementation.
Just dealing with the conflict. And you remember school I was at, right? So it's like, I mean, there were people coming to me, yo, Mr. Muhammad. I mean, people just come by my office, yo, Mr. Muhammad, it's gonna be a fight on the school bus at 3:00. Just like that, bro. All the time. And I remember that. You remember our assistant principal was like, Muhammad, I'm so glad you're here because now I get to have a break. She's like, I can send them to your office, or my office was always full. So it's like we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about information and knowledge. So that's collectively what we have to bring back to each other. So whether it's in health, nutrition, philosophy, whatever it is, 7 sciences it's going to help. It's helping us to grow. That's what's helping us to grow.
I also have goals, if I could interject. I have a goal of fasting 7 days out of every month. And I wonder, what's your ideas on implementing, a disciplined regimen of fasting? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that's something we are socialized to even practice here in America.
Exactly. When you fast, regardless how many days, just sea moss. Get you some sea moss gel, because the sea moss gel replaces all the minerals. Okay. So as long as you got the minerals, if you go back and you look at the old tape, remember Left Eye did with Dr. Saban back in the day? Mm-hmm. That's what he was giving her, sea moss. She was taking sea moss every day. She did 40 days. She had all kinds. She had hypertension. Remember, she burned the guy's house up and she had all kinds of issues. All those issues went away. That's what I would suggest, brother. No matter how many days you do, take the sea moss and get the gel. Take it every day. That's what I do when I fast. I just take the sea moss. Well, I take sea moss every day. But especially when I fast, I take it and make sure I take twice as much to replace those minerals.
All right. Brother, I'm showing your Instagram page, and I see a lot of sisters who are making some salt. Is that shea butter that they're making? Yeah. I went back to Africa. That's my mom's. I went back to Africa, and I put up a lot of pictures. And like the lady I'm working with in Venezuela, down South America, it's like there are a lot of butters that are common to what they call Southwest Africa or South America too, like kupuasu. A lot of people don't know that cocoa butter is originally from South America. A lot of people don't know that originally what's the oil? There are a lot of oils, sarsaparilla,
There are a lot of plants and oils from the Americas too. So we're spreading the information so people can find the information and heal themselves too.
Okay, tell me about this soap that I see here, Carmen's Raw African Black Soap.
Yeah, we did that more of a marketing ploy because a couple of years ago we started putting our website in Spanish because we get Spanish calls with the people in the United States with Spanish language, and so two of the most popular names, with Spanish speakers, Carmen and Maria. So we renamed that soap Carmen's. So we get people who are on our Instagram from especially what they call South America, Latin American countries who make comment on that. So we're trying to pull in those Moors too, because we all same people. We all one. So we're pulling in that demographic, like the brother said. We're looking at that demographic too.
All right. Well, we have about a minute left, brother. I know you need to bounce. So tell me about the black soap. Why is black soap?
If you want to stay to 9, I'm good. Can you stay to 9?
We can go a few more minutes. Tell me about this black soap.
Oh, African black soap is probably the best antiseptic soap that you can get. I mean, they've been making that for hundreds of years in Africa, brother. You can't get any better than that. The women do 90% of the work. They comes in looks like a fruit about this big. They clean them, dry it out, all that. But what you see, those pictures right there, like those pictures are Southeast Asia. So we're trying to do what we do with our advertisement is, and we get a lot of followers from a lot of different countries. So, and a lot of emails. So what we're doing is we're trying to get the information out that we're one. And I think if you look through some of those, like that picture right there, I have a friend who lived in Taiwan, and I showed her that, and she was like, "Those are the original people in China?" I was like, "Yeah." So she speaks Manchurian. She speaks Manchurian Chinese, right? So Manchurian Chinese started. So you're familiar with the Mandinka region of West Africa, right? That's where Manchurian Chinese comes from.
Yeah, I know.
Put the words together. Manchuria, Mandinka. Put the words by each other.
Well, I know that we used to have the good brother Renoko Rashidi, who we used to bring him in town. I think this is shortly after you left, but you got a chance to meet him, and he talked about the African presence in early Asia, or the melanated presence in early Asia. That might be a bad word, and now that you've spoken, I don't know. I'm still saying it.
Hey, go ahead, brother.
So look, man, and the fact that there were the people in early China, in early Japan, in early Philippines, in Malaysia, in the Polynesian Islands, were people who were darkly skinned and had afros and had what we would consider African phenotypes. It's information that a lot of people are not aware of. But now you're saying you're going back to those very same places with a product that helps them become healthier because they're returning back to nature, and it's always pure, always perfect.
And we're featuring the ingredients from that area. Like we're doing the product me and Julia Tan are creating in Southeast Asia. It's named after her mother. It's called Rakia, right? So we're using some of the ingredients from Southeast Asia, like palm oil, yang lang, things like that. So every region I go into, I look at what people know. And let me speak on what you were saying about the different regions. When you go back to the when I sent you that picture about when all the continents were connected.
Yeah, Pangea.
Right? Pangea, right. So when you go back to the Pangea, the United States fits right. The United States and Africa fits right together. So I was, that picture right there. Yes, sir. Real interesting conversation. I was in Kroger a couple years ago talking to a guy. He out on his African, and we were talking. And he asked, like, great attire, brother. He said, well, Africa's is the motherland. I said, brother, are you familiar with the Pangea? So he said, yeah. So then there was a guy walking up the aisle. So I said, brother, hey, come over here for a second. I want to ask you a question. I said, let's do this. Let's think about this real quick. If it's one landmass, me, you, and this other brother, if we're on the same landmass and it splits, who's the oldest? He said we're the same age and walked away. And the guy looked at me like, brother, ain't no older and younger. It was one landmass. See, all that stuff is regurgitation of European stuff. Look at that picture right there. You see where it fits in? It's regurgitation of European history. See, we got to get out of that. We can't talk about them and then regurgitate. You know what I'm saying? So we're one people. Regardless of what you want to call ourselves, we're one people. So even the people in Southeast Asia, in the different parts, the Russians and all that kind of stuff, they're our children. The Chinese are our children. The people they call Native Americans here, those are our children. The original Moors look like us. The people who you see in west of the Mississippi are what they call the Chinese or the Chinese or the Chinese or the Manchurians who came over, and they call them Chinese. Look in South America, the people that Hugo Chavez and all that, when they have the slanty eyes and all that kind of stuff, those are the Manchurians who mix with the Moors. That's our children. The Mexicans are our children. So when you go around the world, all these people are only the Moors and their children. So even when you deal with the Arabs, it says Ishmael, right, is the father of the Arab race, right? So Ishmael is the son of Abraham. So even, no matter what region you go to on the earth, you see our children now who have supported us through colonization and held a lot of the secrets, like in India, held a lot of the secrets and the information away from the Europeans until it was time for us to rise again. This is the time for us to rise again. That's why you're seeing the information come out.
All right, and as you see, I keep trying to bring this back to Abie's Natural because it's always pure, always perfect. So this information is great. What are some takeaways? So people have been watching for a little while now. What are some takeaways? I know you want them to go to Abie's Natural and buy your products. I actually buy your products, So I buy AB Natural shea butter, and it's been beneficial for my uses. But what are some takeaways? What are some things you want people to do?
You know what? Well, tell the audience your daughter's experience with the Mrs. Yo's.
Well, why don't you share that?
Your daughter bought Mrs. Yo's last year, December, and she had, like you said, had, I guess, itching, different parts of her body. And she bought the Mrs. Yo's, and she said after a few days that it was gone. So what we're doing is that's the type of work we want to do. And that's why I was always like, Seiko, what your daughter's saying, because that R&D is really important to us trying to create better products. Because there's no more day of, well, I want to make something in my kitchen or make something in my lab, and they're going to buy it. You got to. The consumer has to be consulted with over and over and over to perfect. Brother, we have things in the pipeline or things that we like that. Those things took a year and a half to develop. And the things that I've kind of put out that I thought the people would like and just put out, those are things that failed. It's just we're doing it on a smaller scale. You know, we're in Cincinnati with Procter & Gamble. We're doing the same thing they're doing, just doing it on a smaller scale.
All right.
Trying to listen to the people. Let me say something real quick before you go. When you're dealing with the glandular issue, basically when we're healing ourselves, we're talking about the 12 glandular systems or the 12 glands in our body that we're healing. So I'm going to give you a reference to this when you're dealing with in Revelations. Check this out. Revelations 2:9. I know my works, tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of which they say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan. That's not talking about religion. The jewels that they're talking about are the 12 glandular systems in our body. And once we've perfected those glandular systems and the healing of those glandular systems, that's when we become jewels, E-L. See, a lot of the Bible is about the healing of the body. That's what it's really mostly about. But it's just rewritten in an anthropomorphic state, where it's like stories, like children's stories. But the people now have to rise their consciousness. That's why we use the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Vedas. We use those type of things to now develop our minds so we can help people develop these products. But we're talking about the healings of the 12 glands. And once we heal those 12 glands with the minerals of the earth, we on point, brother. That's where we at. Ashe, brother.
Brother Bashiri, man. Any last questions for the brother Muhammad Ali Bey?
He's a wealth of information. There's so much information to distill. I'm just sitting here soaking it up. I guess going back to what we had established in terms of the Europeans' desire to dominate the domain of discourse and to have the, kind of at his disposal, so to speak, definition, right? Because when you name a thing, you can control a thing, right? So we're talking about melanin and it being a myth. I was wondering, though, in your reference to the periodic table and the chart, isn't that a byproduct of European initiative, that whole table? So aren't we, even with that, referring to that being kind of the, I guess, the lexicon that we would go to define what's minerally real, for lack of better terms? Are we still dependent on their propaganda, though? European propaganda?
A great question. Those minerals in the mineral table were around before we even created them. Remember now, they're the new human on the scene. It's just like this. Black's Law Dictionary. From my time when I was in law school. Look, jurisprudence, they didn't create. They just dominate all the subjects now. But they didn't create most of the stuff that they say in the history books. So they say now that, we refer to them and they say, when you're dealing with, what's the guy, with the apple falling and all that kind of stuff and gravitation, all that. They didn't create any of that. They're our children. So now we have to get this thing back in order, whereas, no, you're the children. Time for you to sit down. Now mama and daddy are back. But we got to come with the information. It can't be any type of, I don't like you, that type of stuff that they use against us. No, we can't come back with that. We got to come back with the science. And this is let me give you one example real quick. This is the word. No, I already got it. This is the definition of the word colored. Real quick. The word colored and lost. And people walk around talking about colored people. This is what the word colored means in law. An appearance, semblance, or simulacrum as distinguished from what is real. A prima facie. Prima facie just means, legally means on his face. An apparent right. Hence a deceptive appearance. A plausible assumed exterior, concealing a lack of reality. A disguise or a pretext. That's what color means. So when people say they're colored people, they're saying that they're not real. So just the etymology and the connotative linguistics that most of us use, we got to get back now to the denotative linguistics, because we created language. Even when you deal with the European language, all those languages came out of Arabic. All this language in Arabic belongs to us. The word Arab is not a people, it's a title of nobility. I have to tell a lot of these Arabs up in Cincinnati all the time, what you want, you tell them. They say nothing. Salam alaikum. So stop playing. But a lot of our children now have had the power that we ceded to them with the colonization of the Europeans in the last hundreds of years. Now we're coming back and we're mom and daddy home now. So now it's passing the information back. And by the way, stop telling people that you created the information. You know, it's like children. You're having your children. You know what I'm saying? And come back and reclaim it. So all that's in the process. So we're taking that information and we're putting them in the products.
I was trying to say that. It kind of reminded me of what you used to tell the students in Portsmouth, Virginia. You would tell them, look, the only thing you run here is your mouth. And it was kind of a precursor to saying, if you're not in charge making decisions,
exactly,
the only thing you're running is your mouth. So you need to be placing yourself in a position where you can make decisions, changes, and implementation. So wanted to say, hey, you're watching the good brother Muhammad Ali Bey on the Get On Code podcast. You can find a video version of this on YouTube on the Our Black Improvement channel. So like and subscribe to the channel, Our Black Improvement. Like, subscribe, and share. Also check out Abie's Naturals. You can find them on Instagram, you can find them on TikTok, you can find their blog. I've shown all that throughout the show. Abie's Naturals. And also check out the good brother Bashiri on his podcast.
Check that brother out, y'all. Check him out now. I appreciate you being on the show with me, brother. Thank you so much, really.
I learned a lot.
Thank you, man. Thank you, God, for real, man. I've learned a lot too, man. It's all, we all one, man. All we got each other right now is each other.
Absolutely.
This is the time. So I hope I get to talk to you again, man. I can get your number from Seiko. We can stay in contact.
Absolutely. You know let's build, brother.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's do some things. I appreciate you, Seiko. I go back to Seiko in 1990, Seiko, running them halls in Portsmouth public schools, man. You remember them? Barbara Roar and all them. You know, that was some good days, man.
Hey, don't drop any names, man. Don't drop any
names. Okay. What was the principal name? Yeah, that was a good brother, because he was, who's the principal there in there?
I might want to get a job in Portsmouth City Public Schools again, so we're not going to drop any names. Okay.
Yeah. He was a good brother, man, because, you know, he was the only person that allowed me collect my information for my master's thesis.
Right.
He was the only person. I didn't even work at that school. I went to my own school. They was like, nah. I was like, wow. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a good brother at IC Norcom High School who was helping you out. No, at Wilson High School that was helping you out. So salute all the presidents. I usually DJ their proms. I've done that for the last 10 years. Because of this pandemic, of course, I haven't DJ'd many ring dancers or proms. But hey, it was good having the good brother Bashiri from, what's the name of your podcast again? And Love, Peace, and Confrontation.
Yep.
Love, Peace, and Confrontation. And from Abie's Naturals, we had the good brother Muhammad Ali Bey, who I've known for over 30 years, man.
That's a long time, brother. Long time. Brother Bashiri, brother, pleasure meeting you, brother.
Likewise.
We got to do this again, man. Or maybe call me one time and be on your show, man. I just like to sit and soak up some information from you, brother. For real.
Absolutely. Likewise.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so you've been listening to the Get On Code, the Fly Guy Show, which is a series of melanated conversations. I guess I could say carbonated conversations.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, salute to Brother Crumb, who would say melanated, carbonated, black, Moorish, blah, blah. He kept. I don't know the whole rap that he came up with.
We won, man. We won. That's all it is. We won, man.
Somos uno. Like Frankie Beverly and Mays would say, we are one. All right, y'all. Peace.
Thank you, brother Bashir.
Peace. This show was brought to you by Positive Vibes Incorporated, our consulting services. We do credit fixes. We do tax resolution. We lend private money and debt consolidation. So if you need some of these services, we're waiting here for you. Credit fixes, tax resolutions, private money, and debt consolidation. Make sure you call Positive Vibes Incorporated. Take care.
Stay fly, 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 stay fly.
The views expressed by the guests are only the views of the guests, unless we say we agree. Unless explicitly stated.
Stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly.
conscious. Stay fly.